Okay, I have a review for a program to sync your multiple devices. It doesn't just work with iPhone, it also works with iPad, Android devices, and even other Macs. It will also do cloud services such as Google or Dropbox, whatever. I'll show you in a minute. But this is the main screen. You'll be presented with your main device you're on, such as your iMac or your MacBook Pro. As you can see, it's picked up, this is my MacBook Pro. It's got my profile picture, probably from my contacts on the Mac. You have incoming connections. You can set up an IP list of allowed IP addresses, ports, passwords, things like that from there. You can do your automatic backups from here. You can select if you want to back up your contacts, your calendars, or your Safari bookmarks or not. You can also set up automatic backup automatically from here as well. Click it manually from down here. We also have an activity log as well. Now let's have a look at About Box. It is version 6. There has been lots of versions before, such as version 5, and this interface does look quite different from version 5. It is also version 6.3 and the Expert Edition. There is two versions, a free and an Expert. So I do recommend that you start off not by buying it, but by downloading the free version. Make sure it works fine for you and works for your devices before you actually pay for it. So it is handy that there is a free version. You can, from here, check for updates. You see latest version, and you can enter your license code once you bought it from here. And preferences, pretty simple. Always keep icon in the menu bar if you want up here, or remind me to sync every month or whatever, which is quite handy. So you might want to turn it on and do every, say, month. You can also send anonymous usage statistics to the company from here. There's a lot of people that don't like that sort of thing. They feel it might intrude on their privacy or whatever. Well, it is anonymous, but if you still don't like that, I don't mind it, but you can turn it off, but I tend to leave it on because I like to help them get feedback for helping develop the program a little bit further. Okay, that's about it from up there. We have connection, create a new connection. Then if we had connections, we could sync now, sync or auto sync from there. Standard edit menu, format menu, window menu, help menu, you can go to welcome to SyncMate, uninstall SyncMate 4, it says, but it means 6, and the help document from there. Now let's have a look here. You got last sync. It'll say when you last sunk a device, and in this case I haven't yet. And there's free space, used, how much is used up. Then we can hit add. We can add an Android device, such as an Android phone or tablet, an iOS device such as an iPhone or iPad. We can actually sync from another device. A mounted device such as a hard drive. A Google account, you go here, click connect and log in. Dropbox, same thing. Icloud, you put in your Apple username and password and connect from there. Then we have MTP devices, which is some things such as cameras, smartphones, some things like that use that. You connect your MTP device via USB. Then we have a few Microsoft services, and we don't just have Outlook, we do have Office 365 Home and Business Edition. So it is very handy. The only thing I see that's missing, and it won't be a big deal to most users, is most users will be using iOS or Android, but there's no Windows Phone option. And there are quite a few Windows Phone users, such as myself, because I have a Nokia Lumia 820 mobile phone, and it is good. I am an Apple fan, but the reason I got that instead of the iPhone is I don't get it on a contract. I use pay as you go. So I got it for about $350 at a time new, and to get a iPhone it would have been about 520. So it would, and I already paid more than I would have liked for that mobile phone at that time. So I want to save as much money as possible. I kind of regret that a bit now, but anyway, there are a lot of Windows Phone users, so it'd be good if there's a Windows Phone option here. I'm not sure if you could perhaps do it via MTP. I haven't tried. So you would select iOS, you would connect your iOS device to the USB and sync it via that. I have an iPad. I don't have an iPhone. I have an iPad. Unfortunately, I can't test this because even though I have an iPad, it won't sync on the computer anymore. I tried it on Windows, iTunes on Windows and iTunes on Mac. And for some reason, iTunes isn't picking up my third generation iPad, even though when I plug it into a computer, it will charge the device, it will charge the battery. Okay, I have actually just tried it again. I've just plugged in my third generation iPad into this MacBook Pro, and the iPad made that doing sound to show that a USB is plugged in, and it does charge, but it isn't showing up in iTunes. And if I go to iOS here, it's not showing up, and that is not the fault of this program. I think maybe the port on my iPad needs fixed because it's charging, but it's not just this Mac, it's not just this program. I've even tried it on a Windows 10 Windows PC into a USB 2.0 port and a USB 3.0 port. It won't pick up an iTunes on Windows either, so I can't demonstrate that, unfortunately. But we can say do a Dropbox, hit connect, and continue. It will open up your browser. I'm using Safari Technology Preview. We can log in. It will ask you for your email address and password, just normal Dropbox password. Then it will say, do you want to allow SyncMate 6 to access your folders and files? You just hit allow. Then go back to SyncMate. Then it says device has successfully been added. Do you want to sync your calendar, your contacts, your folders, your music, your reminders, your photos, your Safari bookmarks, your iTunes? What do you want to back up to Dropbox? Well, I think we'll do calendar. I think we'll do contacts. I don't think we'll do all our folders and pictures. I think we'll do reminders. We won't do all our music files because I've only got a free Dropbox. I don't want to do too much. Do bookmarks. I won't do that actually. Let's just hit done. Now we can give it a name. So I'm going to put sync, Dropbox sync. Okay. We can then do auto sync when other side is available auto sync only when GUI is hidden. And that is a good thing with SyncMate. You can have it hidden and it will do background services. So basically you don't have to have this interface up, clogging up your dock, clogging up your screen. You can have it sync in the background as a background service. So that is actually quite good. So that's quite a good option here to have. We can hit apply. We can then go to our contacts, have a look what's there, various settings here. I'm not going to go into too much depth for these settings, but I'll just quickly go through them to show you that there are various little options you can do for the various categories, such as calendar and contacts. We can then add another device. So say we've got our MacBook here, which is the device we're on. We've then got Dropbox. We can then add our Android phone or tablet or iPad or our iPhone here. Then we can hit add again and add, say, iCloud. Then we can hit add again. Then we can add, say, Google account. Then we hit add again, and so on. So this is really what this program is about. It's not about just syncing one device. Oh, let's sync our iPhone each day or whatever. Because if you want to do that, just forget about it and just do it in iTunes or whatever. The power of this program is that it is a all-in-one interface for syncing and backing up multiple devices, such as other Macs, other tablets, other phones, all from one interface. So if you say have an Android, maybe mobile phone, and you have an iPad, you don't have to use whatever program Android uses to back up that one device, then use iTunes for the iPad. You can do it all from this interface. You can do your Android devices, you can do your iOS devices, you can do your Dropbox, your Google services, your iCloud, all from one interface. Instead of, if you have multiple brands, instead of just doing some from iTunes, some from another program, it's all in one interface here. It's very, very handy. And if we want to add things like Microsoft or Google services, we click here, click connect, and do basically the same steps again as we did for Dropbox. For add another Mac, we can add a Mac manually. Then it says enter the name or IP address or DNS name of a remote Mac here. So you type that in, basically type in the IP address of the other Mac and type in a password if it's needed. A mounted device, you basically have it plugged into USB and do pretty much the same steps as an iOS. Then we have MTP device. You connect that via USB as well. Microsoft services, same sort of process as Dropbox. It's all very straightforward and self-explanatory. Okay, now let's have a quick look at the website and show you any features I haven't mentioned, I may have forgot to mention. I would like to emphasize that there is free and pro, and I'll tell you about the price in a moment. Okay, so we can watch a little video about it. We can look at some screenshots, devices, free versus expert, sync your Mac with multiple devices simultaneously, supports El Capitan, keep up to date on all your devices with auto sync, background sync, so your app window won't bother you, which I've mentioned. Free edition, which will sync basically your contacts and your calendars, but not all your other files. Expert edition also syncs multimedia files such as photos and videos and folders as well. So you can go to the website and download a trial, and I will put a link in the description to the website, both for the free one, and I'll put a price for the pro one. Okay, let's have a look at devices. Android, iOS, different Mac, a multi-device such as a hard drive, Google account, Dropbox, iCloud, MTP device, Outlook, Office 360 Home and Business. Only thing missing, like I said, is Windows phones. Explore your sync options, free versus expert. You can sync your calendar, contacts, and you do have background sync as well in the free version. SMS, it supports call history, mount a disk, and let's just have a look here. Here's a chart. This is where it's useful. Okay, you can connect multiple devices and sync contacts, calendar synchronization, background sync, you can view your activity log, and you can read SMSs from the free version. But what can't you do? Well, you need the expert version to iPhoto gallery sync videos in iPhoto, iTunes Media Sync, folder synchronization, send SMS from a Mac. You can do that in the Pro Expert version. Export SMS backup. You can't do that. Core history. You can't sync your Safari bookmarks, which is perhaps something I would think, since you do contacts and calendars, might be a free thing. It's not. I'm saying I think that perhaps bookmarks should be one of the free features, but at the current time, it is a pro feature. To do and reminder sync is only a expert version. You won't get that in free. Sync multiple devices, that is expert. Auto sync is expert. Mount your devices as external disk, that is expert. And convert media files to other popular formats. So in the expert one, you can actually convert from some video and audio formats to other formats. I haven't actually tried that out yet, so I don't know what formats it supports. It doesn't say here, unfortunately. It's about $40 in the US for up to 2 Macs, so you can have it installed on, say, your main iMac and your MacBook Pro or whatever you might have. You can have it on 2 Macs for the base price. But if you need more than that and you want to have it on more Macs than that for whatever reason, there is an best offer, it says, of $60 for up to 6 Macs, which is called the Family Pack, a business pack for $100 up to 10 Macs, and unlimited for $200. You can have it on installed on however many Macs you want, even hundreds perhaps if you want. So that is quite good. There is options there. Most likely you're going to want the personal pack for $40, and in the UK, I believe that's about £36 for the base version. I'm not sure what they all are, but it's about £36 in the UK for the personal edition. If you own an older version, such as SyncMate 5, you can upgrade with 50% off the prices you see here. As you can see here, you can order a backup CD. You can also order extra urgent support plan and a lifetime guarantee plan, which means you get all future versions free. If you're in the UK, there will be some tax. I'm not sure about in the US. If we take that off, it only looks as much as it is because I had a backup CD plan ticked. You untick that and it goes down. So that is to bear in mind, that will be ticked by default. So you might want to untick that. Okay, I'd like to point out that the online services are all set up very similarly. So with Dropbox, it will open a web page, you type in username and password, to say, do you want to allow it to see your details, etc. You hit allow and then go back to the program. Gmail and Outlook are done the same sort of way, except for it doesn't open it in a browser, it opens it in a sheet, a little window pop up here. where you type in your username and password and it will say, do you want to allow, and you hit allow. The only one that's done slightly differently is iCloud. It comes up in this window here, you put in your username and password and that's it. There's nothing to allow and it doesn't open in a browser. So they're all pretty straightforward to set up, and they all are done the same sort of way. Once you set them up, you have your various tabs such as calendar and contacts here, and it's the same for each of those sort of online services. They're all sort of the same. There's nothing really much to have a look at here. It's all very straightforward, all very similar. If you once you set up one, you can set up all the others with no problem. It's a very easy, straightforward interface. Now, do I recommend it? Well, it depends upon what your needs are. If all you want to do is sync your iPhone and that is it, or iPhone and iPad, you might want to stick to just iTunes. However, if you want to sync and back up multiple devices, such as maybe Android and iOS, or more than one Mac and iOS, or whatever, this allows you to do it all from one interface. You can sync and back up your Android, any Android devices you have, any iOS devices you have, any other Macs you have, your iCloud, plugged in devices through MTP, such as USB devices, your iCloud account, your Google account, your Dropbox account, your Microsoft services. You can sync them all, you back them up all. It's really handy, really easy to use, straightforward, all from one interface. But what I recommend is that so you make sure it works with the devices you want, and to make sure it does what you want and the interface is how you like it and it's easy, etc. I recommend you follow the link in the description along with this video and download the free version. Give that a bit of a try, like it's a demo or a trial, and see if it works for you, see if it does what you want, then consider buying. A link will be in the description so that you can get to both the free version and the store to buy the expert edition. But yeah, I do recommend it if you need to sync and or back up multiple devices, and it has great cloud service integration, not just with Dropbox, but also with Google, Microsoft, and iCloud services. Very handy, all in one interface. It's quite a well-known program. It's not something that's going to come and go and stop being updated, because it is the 6th version. There has been lots of versions before. It's fairly well-known, I think. I'll put a link in the description for you. And please like and comment on this video. And if you could do me a huge favor and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as it just takes a few seconds and will help me out a lot. Thanks.